thought I'd do a different sort of video today and start a new practice of occasionally showing some of my own work. This will most likely be more experimental or interesting type of bindings, so they may not be perfect. Well, no bindings are perfect, not mine anyway. And this is the first, which was really quite a lot of work. It's a Psalter that I've done. It's actually a project I've been working on myself, an adaptation of, well, not really an adaptation, but the Psalter of Father Lazarus Moore, which I've adapted slightly and arranged. It's really a provisional sort of thing because I did it needs to have some typos fixed, and I also did it during lockdown, which meant that I didn't really have the best paper. So as you can see, there's a fair amount of ghosting. But I really decided to treat the binding as an experimental project, seeing it's my own Psalter. And hopefully I will, at a later stage, print out some more and possibly bind them to sell. So the binding is actually what I would call a type of a bridal binding or slip-away binding, in that it's made of three parts so that the leather of the spine goes under the boards. I've been doing that a fair bit recently because with lockdown I've been unsure when I'll get leather again, so I've been a bit careful about how I use my leather. In fact, on the back I even used 2 pieces, seeing it's my own book and I was really just experimenting. And I've also decided to do something new and use a design that incorporates Islamic geometry or sacred geometry or whatever one terms it, something that I've been quite fascinated by. Also, as a Christian, fascinated by the links to early Christian art and the symbolism behind it. I particularly wanted to do this format, which I think is called khatam, but it's an 8-fold pattern, and I particularly wanted that. But from a Christian perspective, the whole symbolism of the 8th day points to something beyond completion that of course finds its fulfillment in the resurrection of Christ. So I've done that on the front and the back covers. The back was slightly different in that I also was experimenting with this sort of dot design, which in the end I haven't pursued. I might still do it, because it ended up being a great amount of work. I've also used gold foil to make these lines. I'll insert another video that shows me doing it. And that was really using the technique of using a board to mark that off, and then using a stylus to work the gold in. I've done that on the spine as well as just using a simple dot format using gold foil. So I'm quite pleased with that and think it's been quite effective. The end pages are paste paper, just a very simple pull paste paper. That's also been quite effective. And then the edges are speckled with 2 colours. And what I've also done, which I haven't often done, mainly because I'm too scared it won't come out right, is that I foiled the ridges here. I don't know if there's a word for that. That didn't come out perfectly by any means. It was sort of an afterthought, so I'm not sure if the fact that it wasn't perfect was because I wasn't paying attention, although it may also be that this wheel of mine isn't quite what it should be. But yes, that's something I'm still need to play around with and practice more. So, yes, it shows you what you can do. It was, as I've said, really quite an absurd amount of work for what's supposed to only be a provisional book, but it was really an opportunity to practice and develop some skills. Hopefully I'll be using them more often in other things, and I hope to also produce some more examples of the Psalter.